Hello lovely people, how are you all doing? I hope you are well. This is just a really quickie little intro before the proper normal intro which is coming up, but I just thought actually I'm going to slot this on here now. It's to do with timings because the video you're about to see, I was going to keep it in sequence of all the other videos I've made, but that would mean you wouldn't see it till about the 11th of July. I think it's the 11th of June today. So yeah, it would just be in a month's time you'd be seeing it and people would be asking about this that I'm going to talk about. So yes, let's pop it in here as a little quickie. But it also means that one of the videos towards the end of June, beginning of July, I'm getting so chaotic, you will see me talking about the things that have happened today, because when I filmed that, it was a couple of days ago. Today hadn't happened yet. I'm being really nonsensical. There has been very little sleep in this house for 2 days. Anyway, let's now go and watch the video that I filmed earlier today, and it'll explain why I'm in a bit of a state. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Vivi now. Vivi, in the studio, are you there? Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I hope you are well. Excuse my dishevelled state, and I'll answer that in a second. Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting to be filming today, but I thought I'm just going to drop a quick one in. By the time you see this, it's going to be the beginning of July, I think. It's what is the date today? It's Wednesday the 11th of June. And yeah, I'm still, okay, take a breath. I'm still quite far ahead in terms of what I've filmed already coming out. So you're probably going to see this by possibly about the 11th of July, a month later, by which time I hope that everything's back to normal. Because, well, a lot of you will know anyway because you're on Facebook. And having that little breath, that's the clue. I've managed to break a couple of ribs under and around here, all on my right side. I had a bit of a tumble and landed on a rock. Bang! And what I did as I fell, I'm so preoccupied about my wrists because, well, I broke the first one when I was 6, and I've continued to break my wrists throughout my life. Goodness me. I don't have any issues with my bones. I don't have any brittle bones. I don't have any kind of bone disease. It's purely that when you put any bone, no matter how sort of strong and healthy that bone is, when you put it under great force, it will break. Anyway, so as I fell, I kind of flung my arm out of the way. I didn't want to land on it. So I landed, wallop. That's the bit that hurts, having a deep breath. So, because it's on my right side as well, and I'm right-handed, I can do a bit with my left, but even when you do, it's the lifting stuff. So when I was trying to water the garden last night with cans, I gave up. Because even lifting with my left hand side, one uses the other side to balance. So it's a bit of a nuisance. It's quite painful, of course, it's quite painful. That will settle down. I've broken ribs before on this side as well. Good grief. So I know sort of what to expect, and it won't keep me out of action for very long. It's more that at the moment I haven't had any sleep for a couple of nights. I did it 2 days ago, so very little sleep. But that pain will gradually subside. So in the meantime, I'm doing light, gentle things. I know a lot of people, when I announced it on Facebook, said, oh, yay, you can just, sit in the garden and read. No, I can't. I can't sit in the garden and just read. I'm self-employed. There's no sick pay. I can't stop work anyway. So I'm doing more gentle things. So, for example, in a minute, I'm going to get sewing these things I mentioned the other day. I think sitting in the garden, I can do all that without too much strain. I've got a bag of compost out there. I'll just snip the top off the bag. I don't need to move the bag. That's the main thing. But in other news, I've just had my asbestos man here. Let me go and show you in the shed. Come on. So he's been and taken samples. Where is he taking them from? Well, he took a little bit from here, but then he's kind of covered them up with some duct tape. That all wasn't covered up. Oh, there's another, he's taken another bit of sample from there. Where else did he do? I'm sure I heard him up higher. I don't know that I can see any up there. Anyway, the great thing is, so at the moment, that's just the sampling. So this will go to a lab and they will test it. And I mean, he's basically confirmed it is asbestos. So yeah, this has to be abated. And it can be done one of two ways. It can be encapsulated, you put something over the top, or removal. And I'm going to have removal because if it's encapsulated, put something over the top, the minute I drill in to put shelves up, I'm drilling into the asbestos. But the reason I'm saying it's great is I really want to find out where else he was, because he had 4 little sample bags I saw. Sorry, I'm just looking up in the roof. Yeah, he had 4 samples. As he was doing it, he said he thinks this is, oh, what did he call it? Asbestos cement, as opposed to something else. And the reason that's important is, actually, let's go back in. I'm just going to give you, some blue sky. Look, I don't know if you can see how, hang on a sec, how blue the sea looks today. Oh, gorgeous. Actually, I mean, he's just left, and that was 20 minutes ago. Couldn't see the down, it was covered in fog. The down's back. Right, let's just pop in. Yeah, so the type of asbestos is really key to me, the homeowner, in terms of paying for the abatement, because that cement board type asbestos, and he thinks it's all that, it's much easier to remove and therefore cheaper. So he said that will be a half day if it's all that kind of cement. The other type, and I can't remember the name he gave it, but it's more like an insulation, and it sort of powders. So that stuff, it snaps, it's really pretty rigid and it snaps with a crack. Whereas the other stuff, it sort of powders and disintegrates, and that's the stuff that's really a problem if it gets airborne. That to remove is a 2-day job, and they have to set up in the garden, they'd have to set up a decontamination tent, and yeah, it's a palaver. Actually, I was talking to him about work at Great Ormond Street and having the airlock before you then go into an airlocked room, and the donning and doffing of all the gear. He said, oh yeah, similar. Oh, the big difference though is price. So I reckon it's going to be, if it's the good one, please let it be the cheap one, it'll be about 800 quid. If it's the other one, it's going to be about £3,000. Crikey. So yeah, I'm just hoping for it to be, obviously hoping for it to be that cheaper one. I have budgeted for it. I just went and looked in my book. This is the budget I came up with in London, and I budgeted 2,000 for it. So hopefully it's the cheaper one, and then that money can then go towards the whole architect thing to get the windows sorted. Now, any minute now, I've got a plumber coming to look at the radiator in the front room and a couple of other bits. So I was just saying this to Richard, as in Richard and Paul. I'm so frustrated that I'm not in the garden digging out more of the horrible stuff, because I just want to get the garden cleared of the horrible stuff, the rubbish. I want it gone. So I'm really frustrated because I'm raring to go on that. However, I will, because of this, I will definitely for the next couple of days, I will be taking it, next couple of days, probably the next couple of weeks, I'll be taking it easier in terms of that really manual stuff. So I won't be lifting any boulders. I found a block of something buried in one of the bits of the shade garden. It's a lump, and I'm going to use it as a stand for the bird bath, but I'm not shifting that at the moment. I'm not lifting the bird bath. We've got some rain due, thank goodness, because I'm not even going to lift watering cans. So annoying, but never mind. Let's not focus on the stuff I can't do. Let's focus on what I can do. I've got tons more stock for the shop, and that takes hours in terms of cleaning and photographing and uploading and cataloguing and all that. So I can do all that. That's great. I did think about sewing, but the sewing machine is away in the cupboard and I don't want to lift it out the cupboard and lift it onto, so never mind sewing. I will find productive things to do, even if it means it's a couple of weeks of, instead of being outside enjoying the weather doing the garden, it's me inside making phone calls and emails and doing all the admin I've got the fire safety stuff that's still outstanding, really boring stuff, and also it will probably be 2 weeks where I'm not filming anything, possibly. But because, that's why I say I'm so glad I've got all that video in the can. I've got videos to last, I think, a month. So if I'm not able to video now for the next 2 weeks, it's okay. I've put enough in the can to cover me. And that's one of the reasons I always film somewhat ahead, just in case of illness, just in case I am not able to film for whatever reason, because filming and putting videos out is how I generate a huge amount of my income. So I need to keep generating. Just slightly more gentle things. Right, I'm going to toddle off for now. I might catch up with you again in a second after, it's real quickie. I might catch up with you again after the plumber's been and find out what's going on there. Just get it all done and out of the way. I can't stand all this stuff, and I can't stand days like this when I've got strangers coming into my home, but it needs doing, get it done. And I've got to say, the Asbestos guy was really lovely, so fingers crossed he's a lovely plumber. And fingers crossed, remember I mentioned, if he is lovely and he does good work, then I can say, right, you're now my plumber, mine. Oh. Right, I'll see what happens. Might catch up with you back here in a couple of minutes, not a couple of minutes, a couple of hours or so. But for now, cheerio. Well, cheerio for now. Bye for now. TTFN. Oh, toasty. Ow, it's hot. It's really hot. Hang on. Oh, that hurt. You're a bit far away. Come hither, come hither. Oh, that's fab. I'm really, really pleased. That's another job done. That's another tick on the list. Working rad, and it didn't need flushing. One of the reasons, I mentioned this the other day, didn't I? When I was kind of on the hunt for a plumber, and I got various quotes in from people. What I liked about this guy was, he'd done it in different stages, saying, okay, this is probably going to, this is probably what you need. It's possible you might need this. So there's like a menu in a way, and I liked that with the prices. But probably it's just that first thing. Great. So yeah, didn't need a flush. Happy that's working now. The other thing, it turns out though that he's not gas qualified, so he can do all of the plumbing work up to but not including the boiler. So he's given me the number of a mate, so I will get in touch with the mate when it comes time to service my boiler. But yeah, really, really nice guy. Really just chatting, because obviously turning the system on and waiting for all the rads to get warm, to just make sure they're all working properly. Just chatting, and me, because I can have a bit of a potty mouth at times, but me just being completely natural and myself. He didn't bat an eyelid. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. So yeah, good. That's part of this whole process, is getting those new contacts in place, isn't it? So yay to my phone today. Yay to a plumber. Yay to, well, I haven't met him yet, but hopefully this gas engineer. Also the price, really good. Electrician, I'm still, well, I think there's a connection with someone that I know in Swanage, so it looks like some electrical jobs I can start to get sorted and underway. It would be nice at some point to find a sort of builder slash handyman. There's not usually much I need doing in that department because I'm happy to have a go at most of that sort of stuff myself, but certainly if it's involving, say with high ceilings, going up ladders. And again, I'm not worried about doing that. It's just when you're on your own and there's no one to foot the ladder, it's sometimes, yeah, have a handyman. Oh, I think, do you know what? I think I just need to lean my ribs against this now. It's so frustrating. I kind of forget for a moment and then get a bit giddy and it's, oh, take a deep breath and it hurts. But that will fade in the next few days, like I said, because I have experienced broken ribs before in pretty similar, well, this time it's around here towards my back. Last time it was around the front. So I do know that I'm in for a few days of quite a bit of discomfort, shall we say, and then the discomfort will calm down and then it'll be a case of me having to remind myself not to go too mad too soon. So for instance, I was concerned because I hadn't moved the boxes of books. So when he arrived, I said, I'm really sorry, I meant to move all these boxes of books. I can't lift them though because of the blimmin' silly ribs. But he didn't need to go into that corner anyway, so it was fine. Yes, so in terms of the garden, it'll be really, really, really light duties. Weeding, no, when I say weeding, I don't mean the stuff I've inherited, all the big, chunky, thick, horrible weeds, not even the patio, because that leverage on there. But just the tiny, tiny, tiny little perennials that have, not perennials, annuals that have come up. For example, Alison. So when I was just about 2-3 weeks late in clearing that sunny bed, because by then the alyssum had flowered and it had gone to seed. So as I was weeding, I tried to be gentle and careful, but of course it shook seed out and they're all popping up already. So yeah, just with my little horry knife or even with my long-handled hoe, just very lightly, because of this, but lightly just get that bed hoed. So there are jobs, there are things I can do. I can be productive and I can keep moving things along. But for now I don't need to remind myself because it's blimmin' sore. But in about 2 weeks' time I will need to remind myself, this is still healing. Don't go mad. All right, lovelies, I'm going to go see why my phone was beeping. But yeah, I feel that feels like a positive little bits of stuff today, and it's so weird, it's so warm. I haven't been this warm in this place since I moved in. Yeah, that feels like some really positive stuff today, and positive, keeping things moving forward, as I just said. But especially because this morning when I got up, I felt really, so I didn't turn the camera on and didn't think I was going to film today, because I did feel really quite down in the dumps and grumpy because of this, and I don't like having my wings clipped. I don't like being restrained and contained. I like to be big and free and getting on. So yeah, first couple of hours of today feeling really quite down in the dumps and grumpy. So it's nice that now the day's becoming really positive, and having said cheerio to you, I'm going to go in the back garden and I'm going to sow those seeds I mentioned earlier, and just a gentle bit of very gentle hoeing. I might not use the long hoe, I might sit on my chair and lean forward and use the trowel, a bit of weeding. Alright lovelies, thanks for hanging out with me today for a quickie. I hope it was a quickie, it should have been a quickie. I will see you all again before too long. Probably doing something else, sitting down and quiet and gentle and slow. We'll see. Until then, please, all of you, look after yourself. I will look after myself. And, oh, yes, that breath in. And hopefully by the next time you see me, or actually by the time you see this video, it will have massively improved because it'll be 4 weeks later. But until the next video, in my time, hopefully every day it will get a little bit better, won't it? Every day it will get a bit better, and that's life as well. All right, lovelies, until the next one, cheerio.